Good evening. Good to have you with us in the Friday edition of the Urban Debate. Viewers, once again, we're going to talk about vaccines tonight. It's no secret now, it's a largely accepted fact that currently India is facing a massive shortage of vaccines. Now, as various steps are being taken to boost the supply to match this demand, as various steps are being taken to increase our production, to maybe bringing it from other places, to give licenses to more manufacturing facilities, to import more vaccines, there is still a part of this entire picture that hasn't been spoken much. So as I begin the conversation tonight, I want to first clarify, we are not talking about vaccine shortage vis-a-vis the demand. We are also not talking about vaccine shortage as we know for various states who are now reducing day by day their entire vaccination process and slowing it down. We are going to actually talk about what we know as facts of what our manufacturing capacity is, capability is as we speak. Not in the future, not in the past, but as we speak. And then we're going to look at our vaccination pace, and you will see how there is a glaring gap between the two. First up, let me tell you what our overall vaccination pace has looked like in the last few months. In the month of March, when only those above the age of 45 with comorbidities and those above the age of 60 were eligible along with frontline workers and healthcare workers, our daily average for the month was 16,14,000 vaccines. In the month of April, as we opened it up to everybody above the age of 45, our daily average for vaccination was 30,16,000 per day. Across the month of March, this was the average. And of course, starting April 1st, we've now opened it up to everybody above the age of 18. And our daily average so far for the month of May has been 18,51,000 per day. So as you can see, we were at a lower level. We went up for the month of April from 16 to 30. We've now dropped to about 18 and a half. Now, let me tell you what is this disparity that I am talking about. Again, let's take it month-wise so we know where we are coming from. For the month of March, we are told 5.9 crore doses were manufactured. How many were used? 5 crore. How many were exported? 2.8 crore. Of course, we had some from the previous month as well, so maybe this doesn't have to exactly add up. For the month of April, we again made 5.9 crore more vaccines. How many did we use? 9 crore. How many did we export? Just about 20 odd lakhs, a little less than that. By April, we had realized that we can't be exporting too much because we need vaccines for our own country. So that part actually came down. For the month of May, if we go by what the government has recently said to the Supreme Court in an affidavit, we have a manufacturing capacity of 8.5 crore. 6.5 crore by Serum Institute for Covishield and about 2 crore for Bharat Biotech, so 8.5 crore. Do you know how much we've used in the month of May in the first 20 days? 3.7 crore. We still have 10 more days to go. Even on an average of 18.5 lakh per day, we're not going to go more than half of what we can actually manufacture. So this begs us to ask the question that are we now going slower for other reasons? Are we stocking this up for next month? Are we actually not able to manufacture 8.5 crore? Are we manufacturing them but somebody is sitting on them? Is it the vaccine makers themselves for the want of better negotiation deals with states, better price with hospitals? Is it the states and the hospitals themselves who are rationing it out and keeping more for later for second dose? We don't know. But I believe it is important to ask the question that when we can in a month manufacture 8.5 crore and we are not exporting at all as per the government's own data, then why is it that in 20 days we've only given out 3.7 crore doses? Something is amiss. Let's find out what that is. Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us on this conversation. Rupali Mukherjee, Senior Assistant Editor with the Times of India, joins us this evening. Murli Neelkantan, lawyer specializing in healthcare law, has been extremely, closely tracking the entire vaccination drive, the policies, the distribution. Reena Gupta, spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party, Vishwas Pathak of the BJP, and Kalikesh Narayan Singh Deo, former member of parliament of the BJD, also joining us this evening. But before we go on to the states and what various states are going through and various political parties have to say about it, let's speak to our experts. And Murli, I want to start off with you first. Is there a very clear standout reason for why there is so much of gap between what we have and what we are giving?
It seems so. The data that you've shown needs to be seen in the context of what the government has told the Supreme Court. So on 9th of May, the government told the Supreme Court in an affidavit which spans more than 200 pages, it is given a breakdown of how much it will give the states. There are two interesting aspects of this. One is that they're only providing numbers for the first fortnight of May. So on the 9th of May, they're telling the states what they can get for the next 6 days. And that totals for the first fortnight of May 2021, that only totals 4 crores. Now you can say, let's extrapolate it and say we'll get 8 crores for the whole of the month. But there's also the difficulty that I have by looking at these numbers, that they don't tally very well. What do I mean by that? If the 50-50 formula is to be implemented, then 50% of the doses in the center's kitty is 2 crores. And the other 50% should be equal to 2 crores. Strangely though, the total that is being allocated is a little more, which is 2 crores, 12 lakhs, 50,000. And that gives us a clue that perhaps that 12 lakh 50,000 that remains is what is being sent to the private sector. Now, if that is the case, then we should assume that for the second half of the month as well, that there will be another 12.5 lakhs, and that will go to the private sector. That totals up for you to 8.5 crores now. So just trying to explain the math so that everybody understands how we come to this number, round number of 8.5 crores. So we have 4 crores, 12 lakh 50,000. And then we'll have another 4 crores, 12 lakh 50,000. So that makes us 8.5 crores. So the issue simply at this point in time is we have 8.5 crores and we've allocated it in this manner. So that is our production. Now, we've also seen from the press conference that the government's been having that they've projected what will be the production over the next few months. Sadly, though, they haven't told us month by month what that production number is going to be. So to say that August to December, Covishield, we will have 75 crore doses, doesn't tell us what we will have between May and August. So what we are missing in all of the government math is a breakdown by month or by fortnight, what it is that the states will be getting. The states can't plan vaccination drives without knowing in detail what it is that the center is going to give them. And therefore, the states will have to think, do I ration it out equally to all the districts? Do I look at having some so that if there is a surge in some districts, I use the vaccination drive in those districts? How do I manage this scarce commodity of vaccines that we are giving? So if only the government would lay out a plan month by month or fortnight by fortnight, we would see a better sense from the states of how they're going to distribute it. They will not stockpile a little bit for themselves. It's a different story what is happening in the private sector. So in the private sector, we can see on the CoWIN app, if you go district by district, you can see that vaccines are available in some districts or some states. They're definitely available in the private sector, even if in the same district, it is not available in the government sectors. So it gives us a very poor picture of exactly what is happening and how to plan.
Okay, so you're essentially saying that one plausible explanation could be that the states are stockpiling a bit because the future is so uncertain because they don't know how much they will get the next time around, either directly from the makers or from the center?
I think so. That's the only plausible explanation if you believe the central government's numbers, that
Okay.
they seem to say that the total vaccines that have been distributed, if you take away from the total number of vaccines the states have got, there is a very small amount that is left with the states. But this is less than a day's consumption. So let's not make that the story. That is not the story. What is left with the states is just about a day's consumption.
Correct.
Which is a reasonable thing. So we don't expect that states to run dry and use every last vial before the next lot comes in. That's not a sensible thing to do.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're any which ways in large parts gradually suspending the vaccination drive category by category. That's been happening because the states say they have run out of what they were going to get from the makers directly, or they haven't actually even got any. And as far as the center's pipeline is concerned, that's already extremely thin. Let me add one more twist to this. And I am now looking at what the government tells us, because frankly, in all of this, as Murli was pointing out, even for future, we don't know what the monthly targets are about or how many doses we will get. Even in the past, there seems to be some amount of confusion as to what it is. So for example, in a written response, in response to a parliamentary committee, the center in the month of March, on March 8th, said that the capacity of Covishield is 70 to 100 million doses every month, while Covaxin has a planned capacity of 12.5 million a month. But the center then went ahead and told the Supreme Court on May 9th that Serum Institute's ramped up production from 5 crore, which is 50 million, to 6.5 crore. So there seems to be some difference in what was said earlier in March and then what was said later in May about the production capacity. Now, it could have gone up, but instead it seems to have gone down. Rupali, what is your own sense of why there is this whole mismatch? Is it because possibly we thought we can produce more, but we are actually on ground not able to push those many doses out?
Yeah, hi. So there are a couple of factors here. There is obviously some kind of a mismatch there. The vaccine companies, for example, Serum said that they would increase the production, but they have in May, but now they've pushed it to July. So what Serum was supposed to do in May was about 10 crore, which is now been pushed to July. And as far as Bharat Biotech is concerned, they are a very minuscule number as of now. So our total production monthly is about 70 million right now, which is including both of them. And we've started Sputnik a little bit, about, I think, 1.5 lakh is what has come in from what we understand. So again, there is, the ramp up is taking time. Due to, again, a combination of factors, the raw materials of Covishield not being there from US, which was supposed to come in. Then maybe due to the funding, which Serum was expecting earlier, the capacity expansion, which did not go on in time. At that point, probably it was understood that it would happen around, let's say, between April and May, which has not happened. So again, there is this whole problem in terms of what the companies had earlier projected and situation on ground.
No, so let's not even, yes, you're right there. And there is a, what they had earlier projected, they may not even reach that point by June, or definitely haven't reached it by May. But I am just reading out what the government said in its affidavit. It is further submitted that the production capacity of vaccines under the vaccination drive has been gradually ramped up and is expected to increase further. Fair enough. Serum Institute of India has ramped up production from 5 crore doses per month to 6.5 crore doses per month. It says it has ramped it up. As of 9th of May, the government has told Supreme Court that Serum has ramped it up to 6.5 crore per month. And Bharat Biotech has increased production from 90 lakh to 2 crore doses. So hence we come back to the same point. That 6.5 plus 2 is 8.5 crore for the entire May. You may want to keep 1.5, couple of more crore aside as a pile. You're still looking at 6.5 crore. We've just about, we're still much lower than 4 crore for this month. So why are we still going slow? What is the point there? Murli, you wanted to come in before I go to the political representatives?
Can I just add something here, Tanvi?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Rupali first. Yes.
Yeah. No. So what I was just going to add is that though ramp up has been difficult, as you pointed out, and it's not being kind of taking at the projected rate, which was there, understood to be there. There are a whole lot of factors in terms of the deployment and the administration of vaccines. So what we're picking up from the vaccine companies is that the stocks would be taking time to probably reach this thing. They would be in transit. And the other point is in terms of the deployment and the administration itself. Also, one crucial factor here is that the private sector has not been able to vaccinate as much as possible as it was doing earlier. And their whole and now in May, end of May is when they would now be starting their vaccinations. So the problem seems to be in terms of the deployment and the administration in terms of to the last mile is what we hear.
Tanvi, you have to also factor in that unlike pills, there is a time for production. So when you're told that production has ramped up, it means that we've started producing. It is not that we've already got the product. The time it takes for these vaccines to be made is up to 120 days. So if you ramp up production in March, it's only 4 months later that you're actually going to get the product. So that might explain what the announcements are, which are very optimistic, but they're also somewhat misleading for the reader or for the viewer here, because they think when you ramp up production, you will get it at the other end immediately. So when we talk about ramp up production for vaccines, you have to also factor in that if you start today, we're talking 4 months later when this product is actually going to be close to the market. It's more than 4 months. So that is how we have to read this data. Saying ramp up in March means perhaps in August we'll get something.
Okay, a very important point, an extremely valid point there, that when you say you've ramped up the production capacity, it will still take 3 to 4 months for that to actually start reflecting in its supply, because that's how long it will take to manufacture it, which actually then makes the whole vaccine crunch problem even bigger, and which will perhaps go on for much longer than June and July as well. Now, let's ask on the states front. Let's try and find out what's happening there. Kalikesh, let's start off with you. Can you give us insights on what's the policy in Odisha? How are we going about it? How much stocks are you actually able to get directly from makers? What are they telling you? And then how are you distributing it?
Look, Odisha has had a fairly successful vaccination policy. I mean, given that we were allocated almost 61 lakh vaccine dosage, we've actually had negative wastages. So we've managed to use even that 0.5%, which was, classified as wastages to vaccinate our people. But over the last 3 months, we find that the allocation has been drastically reduced. And as a consequent result, out of 30 districts, we almost stopped vaccination in about 18 districts in between. And we are basically, as far as I know, using whatever vaccine allocations that we have, which are very, very low, to vaccinate only for the second doses. The first doses are very, very small. I mean, if I've been trying to get a booking slot for my wife, who's in the 18 to 45 category for a vaccination, and it's almost impossible to get that slot because you only have 1 or 2 slots available per booking center, or maybe 5 or 10 slots available. So yes, we are facing a severe crunch of vaccine supply right now. And as you had yourself mentioned, that we've been trying to get hold of vaccines from private manufacturers. We floated a global tender to try and get vaccines. I'm not quite sure what the results of that would be, because this shortage exists across the board. and there are 10 or 12 states which are actually bidding for coming up with these tenders. So are we going towards a price war to try and get these whatever little stocks of vaccines that are available? Is Will vaccines be available at any price if it takes 4 months for the manufacturing to increase? These are really broad questions which should have been looked at about 6 months ago. Unfortunately, we are faced with it right now in the middle of these massive second wave, which has hit rural India and rural Orissa in a massive manner.
Yeah, on a side note, though, Mr. Deo, maybe you can try what I have been now doing. We now maintain a timetable of which hospital opens when. Sometimes they tend to change that as well, but we may not maintain a timetable of when they're going to open the slots for those 10 vaccines which will be available for the next 2 or 3 appointments, and see if we play fastest fingers first to get there. We've not managed to. I haven't managed to, but the timetable of the hospitals is increasing by the day, because in Maharashtra at least, there is no other way. The state's not vaccinating people above the age of 18. They don't have the vaccines. But let me also ask this question to Reena. Reena, again, in Delhi, you've significantly cut down, almost suspended your vaccination for many of the categories. What is the outlook that you've got from the makers, the vaccine manufacturers, of when this is going to change? And are you, like Murli was suggesting, also rationing out whatever little is there, because you don't know when the next round will come?
So Tanvi, just I want to first make a couple of points about the whole vaccination policy of the central government. And, just 2 words which Lancet has used is the policy is botched up and it's falling apart. So if you look at any aspect of the policy, whether it's the ordering, financing, the supply chain, everything has been botched up by the central government. WHO actually says that vaccination is a public good, which means it should be accessible to everybody. It should be free of cost. The central government had allocated 35,000 crores to buy vaccines for the whole country. And I was looking at the May data. They've spent hardly 3 or 4 crores out of that allocation of 35,000 crores. Delhi is a comparatively richer state. We have good finances. We can afford to buy the vaccines. But I was reading some of the reports that some of the poorer states would have to spend up to 30% of their budget to buy these vaccines. States like Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, where there is hardly any health infrastructure, whatever precious little they have, they'll have to spend that to buy the vaccines. And then on the other hand, we have this price war going up, where we are being asked, states are being asked to bid against each other in global tenders. For God's sakes, has anybody ever heard of something like this? That Maharashtra is going to bid against Delhi and Delhi is going to bid against UP for the same 1 or 2 vaccines. So everything about the policy is really botched up, Tanvi. And the problem is that even now, I do not see the central government waking up. A couple of days ago, they did that grand press conference where they announced 2 billion doses. But if you go into detail into those numbers, that is all wishful thinking. It's all, again, based on some projections. I do not know, and it's not in the public domain, as to if we really have contracts, legal contracts with all of these companies that have been listed in that press conference. And the Supreme Court and, the Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi have been saying that we can use compulsory licensing and get some of the private, the public. We have 7 PSUs who have the vaccine manufacturing capability. Why don't we use the compulsory licensing provision and actually give the technical know-how to those companies and ramp up production? Otherwise, we'll be sitting on these TV debates for the next 6 months. The 3rd wave will come, the 4th wave will come. I don't know when we're going to vaccinate the whole country. As far as Delhi is concerned, from January itself, we have been putting together infrastructure to vaccinate as many people as possible. Our vaccination centers for 18 plus, from Monday onwards, we'll have to suspend vaccination for 18 plus. For the 45 plus category, we still have vaccines for a few more days. We had placed our orders with the 2 suppliers, both Serum Institute and Bharat Biotech, at the end of April. But we received a letter from the central government saying that we will only be getting 3.5 lakhs for the month of May. We still don't have clarity on what we'll get in June and what we get in July. Again, if you look at allocation across states, Several specialists have said that there is no transparency on how vaccines are being allocated across states. There are reports saying that Gujarat is getting more than some of the other states. Why is the central government even giving us that, that opportunity to raise questions about allocation across states? What is the formula? Is it based on our population, or is it based on the comorbidity numbers, or on the absolute?
Well, it shouldn't be any of
number
it. I mean, there is a formula that they have suggested, Reena, and they have informed the Supreme Court about it, the formula that's used for how center allocates it, and the formula that is used for how the vaccine makers are supposed to. But there is no transparency on who's getting how many doses on what day at what cost, and so actually all of that really goes flying out of the window. I understand what you're saying. Let me then bring in Mr. Vishwas Pathak. Mr. Vishwas Pathak, what kind of decentralization is this if the center is still telling vaccine makers on whom to give how much in the state's quota?
See, Tanvi, this vaccine procurement was centralized by central government, which was very much criticized by all the opposition parties. Now, in the US also, central procurement was with government only. I need to compare our case with US because everybody has got right to criticize central government, saying that we have failed miserably. Assuming that we have failed miserably, then we have to compare with some relative case. Now, take the case of US. US, despite of their 10 times health infrastructure better than India, they have reached to 26 crores vaccination, though they started vaccination in January. We have reached to 19 crores, though we started in March. Now, issue is that when everything was centralized, it was criticized. When at the instance of state government, vaccination for 18 to 44 as a second option was made available, look at what has happened. Not a single state could really procure through global tendering. They are not getting any response. Then 18 to 44 vaccination was not made available by central government. It was to be procured by the state government and vaccinated. So because of the usage of vaccine from dose A, dose 1, dose 2, and 18 to 44, all this mix-up has happened. Now, because of the changing guidelines by WHO and ICMR, that instead of 28 days, it should be 6 weeks, then 8 weeks and all that thing. Now, state governments are not very clear how to utilize their vaccines which they have. So there are various issues. So therefore, it's very easy to compare this and criticize central government. Point is that central government has been doing vaccination.
But we're not comparing to anybody, Mr. Pathak. I have not made any reference to what the rest of the world may be doing badly or greatly. I'm not talking about you, Tanvi. I am simply talking about what the government is telling us and what is the ground reality. No, you haven't understood what the conversation here is, Mr. Pathak. Allow me, please, 30 seconds. I am only saying that what the government tells us as far as the manufacturing capacity is concerned is not what is happening on ground. Now, if the manufacturing capacity today will only get reflected in the market 4 months later, then shouldn't the government tell us how much is hitting the market every month? Why are you misleading us by telling us 8.5 crore per month when you're actually only giving us 5.5 crore per month?
Nobody is misleading you. Rather, you are misreading what is given in 8th May affidavit. 8th May talks about the present situation. What is the capacity of Covishield and Covaxin? It is not talking about the ramping up. Therefore,
8.5 crore.
One gentleman rightly
I am not talking about that part either. The affidavit does talk about ramping up, but I have decided not to go as per assumptions for future, Mr. Pathak. Mr. Pathak, I twice read it out. I read out the affidavit 2 times to say what it talks about the current situation, not the future.
See, I am not only responding to you, but 5 panelists who spoke against central government. Let me complete now. Have patience. See, ramping up is, rightly one gentleman said, ramping up takes time 3 months, 4 months. Therefore, central government came out with the strategy that between August to December, we will be completing 216 crores vaccination. And otherwise also, by 19 crores vaccination, we have reached almost 25% of the herd immunity required vaccination. Around 80 to 90 crores could reach herd immunity. Therefore, we are going step by step, though we want to vaccinate entire population with 133 crores population. So, with the given limitations and resources, Government is planning its best, and India is the largest country with huge population. Therefore, we need to handle it very carefully. We have to rely on the vaccine manufacturer also. They are giving us some commitments. On that basis, we are making further commitments. But there can be error of judgment because there is supply chain management, there is raw material procurement requirement. There are various issues, and those issues are getting ironed out. I think within 3 months, achieving 19 crores vaccination for a country like India with such a feeble health infrastructure, which Supreme Court has also mentioned that in 70 years we could not really get a proper health infrastructure. Despite of that, we are going ahead. I'm not denying that we should have achieved 50 crores by this time.
Okay.
But time will take its own course because of the limitations of the resources.
Okay, one by one we'll go across. Everybody wants to make points basis what has been just said right now. Mr. Deo, we'll start off with you. Go ahead.
Mr. Pathak, I'm not against the BJP as a party. We support the BJP in many areas. But the fact is that even in Odisha's case, we had 16 lakh allocation from the center for Covishield. This year in May, it's 8 lakhs. That's 33% of what 33% of what was offered last month. Vis-a-vis Covaxin, we had 4 lakhs of Covaxin versus 2 lakhs so far in May, at 50% of what was offered last month. The idea of enhancing capacity should have occurred to the central government because they were the ones controlling it completely up until a month or two ago. And the fact that these capacities should have been increased and supply chain should have been enhanced should have been done 6 to 8 months ago. Now, when you compare ourselves to the US, let's understand that the US is vaccinating a larger number of the percentage of the population. You have to prepare yourself for percentage vaccination, not absolute numbers. It doesn't work in that manner. We had a year to prepare, and we haven't managed to do so. And I'm sorry to say that I believe that the only reason that the central government is allowing state governments to step in now is because they have realized that there's complete mismatch in demand and supply, and therefore state governments can share partly with the blame or enhance efforts. The problem is, and possibly the state governments will step in and there will be
I raised this issue.
And hopefully Sputnik and Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah, so possibly some of these vaccines
and
will
you're
be
right,
imported.
but it's going to take longer time. Why we are raising this tonight, if I may just add to that, Mr. Deo, is also because if now the entire process has to change and has now changed with states coming into play and private hospitals coming into play, that process itself seems to be dealing vaccination drive further. It seems to be slowing us down even further. The states have just about, a handful of states have just about figured out the whole, way to go about issuing global tenders. Now, we do know that these tenders will be issued, they will get in some responses, and they will sit across for conversations with some of these vaccine makers from abroad. Then they will go to the central government, get permission in, then it will come to the market. And if Sputnik's movement is anything to go by, it's been 3 weeks since those vaccines are in our country. They're yet to hit the markets because there is a certain procedure to be followed. All of that will again happen if you bring in any other vaccine. Weeks and more weeks and more weeks and more weeks. That's how we seem to be dealing and derailing our vaccination process right now. And at every step, when we discover something new, it seems we were not given the correct, true picture at the beginning. Reena Gupta, please quickly make your point and then I go back to my experts.
Tanvi, just one quick point. Even now, expecting the states to go and make those global tenders is again a very, very wrong expectation. This is again going to lead to the same sort of price war. We are saying that, okay, you take the money from us, you pool in all the requirements of all the states, let the central government do a global tender on our behalf. The central government will have much better negotiation power. And, when you pool in the requirements of the state, even the demand will be much higher and you'll be able to get a much better price from the suppliers. So why is the central government not doing that? And then point number 2, a couple of days ago, they said they're open to using the compulsory licensing. So why has that provision not been used? And why aren't you allowing the PSUs? There is IVC in Tamil Nadu, and there are several of these PSUs that can actually make these vaccines. Why aren't we using all of these? If we use all of these methods, only then we'll be able to ramp up the vaccination. Otherwise, I don't see it happening.
Okay, let me bring in Rupali on this point. Rupali, what is the status? The government seems to, in its last few briefings, said that, we are already doing that. Bharat Biotech is tying up with multiple facilities to increase their production. Any other state which is interested in taking the license and setting up facilities can definitely approach and have these conversations. But on ground, has anything moved since all of this started, say, about 4 to 6 weeks ago? Rupali, I think you're on mute. Okay, still muted, cannot hear you. Let me just figure out what that audio issue is and I'll come back to you, Rupali.
Sorry, I couldn't
Yes.
hear you, Tanvi.
Murli, if I can just come to you, what are our options? Okay, can you hear me now, Rupali? My
Yes,
question
yes,
to you,
I can.
Rupali, was
Yeah.
what's happening on ground in terms of all the conversation around,
Getting
sharing the
CL.
information, sharing the licenses, setting up more facilities, tying up with more manufacturers to ramp up the production. The government indicated a few weeks ago that we are open if anybody is interested in taking the license and setting up manufacturing. That can also be done. But on ground, has anything moved?
No, nothing much has moved because it's a very difficult process. Even though it may not be very difficult, tough to make, let's say, Covaxin, which I believe is not that tough. But the transfer of technology could take 3 to 4 months, and the PSUs, which the government is talking about, which seem to be interested in terms of taking up the job. May not be like ready to take it on immediately. Their production facilities need to be upgraded, and that could take some more time for them to kind of come up. So it can't be done immediately is what we understand. It would take at least a couple of months for, let's say, Covaxin to be produced. And in the case of Covishield, it becomes difficult because AstraZeneca has licensed it only to Serum Institute. And we do not have the license to produce it in India. No other company has that. Even though we may have companies, the injectable companies, which may be ready to take on and do these vaccines here, but because it's a licensed product, we cannot do it unless the government moves ahead and moves in terms of issuing a compulsory license on the serum, on the AstraZeneca one. So again, it's a tough thing. Difficult, and it could take a lot of time for the transfer technology to take place and these vaccines to actually roll out. Also, the other thing is the company which just got the license here in Bombay, which would be coming up with this thing, which they've already tied up with, just forgetting the name.
Afghan.
Hafkin, yes.
Hafkin, yes, sorry, yeah. The Hafkin one, yes. So that will also come towards the end of the year, is what they're saying, or probably maybe take another year. So it's not an easy thing to just start making vaccines as soon as you kind of tie up. The transfer of technology it could take at least 3 to 4 months for them to start going, and then they start doing it. And it's a minuscule amount which they're talking about anyway. It's some few crores which could be coming out from all of them put together. It's not a substantial amount at all which will help us.
Okay, so let me just then quickly take this across to Murli, and then we summarize this to your mind, Murli, and we've discussed this exhaustively in the past also about, sharing the licenses or the information and the technology to ramp up the production, and that seems to be now also taking a lot of time. So by when do we see the situation easing, and how will that actually happen then?
I don't see the situation easing, so I'm sorry to say that for a variety of reasons. First, the affidavit in the Supreme Court by the Union government itself tells us that. And I will read to you. It says, with regard to availability, at present, the availability for vaccines for the next 6 months would be difficult to project. This is what the Union government has said in its affidavit. It's in paragraph 27.6. So let us start from there. I don't think the Union government would have lied to the Supreme Court. So we have to assume that they can't project either. Secondly, in the press releases and the press conferences that they've done, they've listed vaccines which have not been approved. So when they say we will have 2 billion doses, they've listed
Correct.
BioE, Zydus, Novavax, which is still in trial, Bharat Biotech, nasal. We haven't even got the trial, third phase trial done for the vaccine, Covaxin. And we're talking about a nasal vaccine, which will have 10 crore doses. We're talking about Genova. So all of these haven't even cleared trial. So we shouldn't be talking about how much production we're going to get out of it when they're still in phase 3 trials. In some of them, not even reached phase 3 trials. So BB nasal hasn't reached phase 3 trials. So that's our first challenge, that those numbers are just not credible today by the Union government's own admission to the Supreme Court. Secondly, the global tenders are not going to work. There isn't 100 crores of vaccines sitting out there waiting for us to go and buy. So that doesn't exist. I've gone through the releases that the main vaccine manufacturers have provided along with their quarterly results. So these are listed companies, Pfizer and other Johnson, who have put out what their production is going to be for the rest of the year, what their increased capacity is going to be, how much money they're going to make from it. And so far, they've told us that there is going to be a very small increase in capacity, but that is all sold. So there is nothing available for sale for this year and for most of next year. So you can float the global tenders, but nobody is going to even read the paper. Tech transfer is a possibility. Anybody who says it's going to take many months to do tech transfer, all I tell them is look at the serum chronology. On 4th June, they signed the agreement with AstraZeneca, and they had the first product out in the market in October. If you take 4 months to make the product, how many weeks did the tech transfer take? Not many. So this whole bogey of it is going to take a huge amount of effort to do a tech transfer for a new vaccine like Covishield, a technology that is different from Covaxin, which is a well-known, understood, and a technology that several of the PSUs have been using. I think we can do better with increasing capacity with our PSUs, with other manufacturers in this country, and we have the best chance of increasing supplies by using them, not by floating global tenders. We might at best get Sinopharm, which is the Chinese vaccine, and we might get some Sputnik, but we're talking lakhs, not hundreds of crores.
And so perhaps this is something that the states also need to start looking at, because they are the ones who are right now hugely banking on these global tenders. And I completely agree with Murli. I think it's extremely far-fetched to believe, especially when there are 20 buyers who are standing at the doorsteps of Moderna and Pfizer to get some of the vaccines, of how it's going to work out, and at least how quickly and at what scale will it bring vaccines to our country. A big thank you to all of the panelists who've joined us on this conversation. I'm going to just put this picture for you one more time. As per the government's own admission to the Supreme Court, between Bharat Biotech and Serum Institute, we have the capacity to manufacture 8.5 crore doses per month. But at the current pace, in the month of May, we have so far only given 3.7 crore doses per month on an average of 18 lakh doses per day. Even if you say we continue at this pace, we will probably still be around 5 crore for the entire month. What explains this gap? Is it because we are actually not producing 8.5 crore doses per month? That this is actually something of a ramped up production that will only hit the market 3 months, 4 months later, and that currently the suppliers are only giving us 5.5 crore vaccines? Well, then the government should tell us that. The government should tell us that number of how many crore doses are currently available to be given out to the states, to the private hospitals, and hence to the people. And if every policy change, decision change that we have done is going to take 6 months to show any effect, then we need to get moving on finding alternatives now. Everything else is just headline management. To say that Bharat Biotech is going to ramp up its production to 100 crore doses a year is a far-fetched dream. To say that we are going to get 200 crore doses by the end of this year between August and December is just an extremely random assumption based on various brands that have been listed. We need to know today what we are getting now, who is using how much. Next month, the month after, how many vaccines will be available with each state, in the center quota, in the state quota, and with the private hospitals. I need to know now, just like every single one of you who is waiting for your turn to get vaccinated, by when will it happen for us? It cannot be a wandering game every single day. Thank you for joining us.